We expect the ocean to function as a reliable, natural engine, a system that provides the same food source today as it did for previous generations. When we imagine marine collapse, we usually look for islands of garbage or tangled nets on the surface. But the first sign of a changing system was harder to see. It was taste. People started noticing a subtle off flavor in their fish. A tangible, physical alteration in the fish tissue had changed the flavor at a molecular level, independent of how the food was caught or cooked. If the ocean hasn't visibly died, we have to ask why its primary product is quietly changing from the inside out. Global manufacturing facilities produce millions of tons of plastic every year, much of which eventually enters the water. Yet the visible debris on the surface represents only a fraction of that industrial output. Plastic does not biodegrade. Instead, the sun and the current grind these objects down, fracturing them into increasingly microscopic pieces. These are microplastics. These fragments, often smaller than a grain of sand, now exist at every depth of the ocean, from the sunlit surface to the pressure of the deepest trenches. At this scale, microplastics enter the food web when foundational organisms, like plankton, mistake the jagged particles for food. This creates a biological escalator. Plankton absorb the particles, small fish eat the plankton, larger predators eat the small fish. As you move up the pyramid, the plastic concentration multiplies, accumulating permanently within the animal's biology. Marine life has begun to physically construct its own body out of our discarded industrial waste. These tiny fragments are often viewed as inert physical objects sitting in a stomach. In reality, a microplastic particle acts as a chemical sponge. It magnetically attracts and absorbs marine toxins from the surrounding water. Once a fish consumes these particles, they embed into muscle tissue, slowly leaching their toxic payload into the animal's cells. This internal chemical exposure eventually alters the animal's texture, its smell, and its taste. That off flavor is the literal taste of industrial chemicals hidden within the meat. We are the ultimate apex predators of this system. When we eat from the ocean, the biological escalator reaches the dinner table. The contamination has now crossed the barrier into human biology. Microplastics have already been detected in human blood, lungs, and various internal tissues. While these quantities are currently microscopic, the long-term medical consequences of this infiltration remain a massive unanswered question. The ocean adapted to our presence by absorbing our output, and now we are being forced to adapt to a contaminated ocean in return.
Ultimately, the most dangerous era of environmental impact is the one quietly changing us from the inside.